Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about online echo chambers, and I thought a good example of it might be taking a look at white people Twitter and sort of the one sided conversation that one might find if they're exclusively getting their news from such a source. So, if you don't know what an echo chamber is, what an echo chamber is kind of in the name. If you're in a cave and I'm yelling out for help and all I hear is help, 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 and it's just me, my own voice coming back at me, there's nothing very reassuring, or there's not much that I'm learning from that situation other than I'm in an echo chamber. Some examples of this we can see as blatantly as Rittenhouse. I think another good example, too, is the recent situation that's occurred with Musk in terms of Starlink access in Crimea. So to start us off here, we have a true classic that is just aged like a fine wine. We have, of course, the obvious that Rittenhouse is a lunatic murderer. We then see his post. I would love to sit down. I would love to have a sit down conversation with the people who think I'm a murderer or try to mix up the facts about my story. Problem is, they don't want to keep an open mind. All right. So that's his original post. Let's see the sort of reception that he received in white people Twitter. Now, bear in mind, this was, about 10 months ago. And how would that conversation start? Yeah, they're dead and I killed them, but hear me out? Yeah, that's the problem. People don't have an open mind. Why does this guy keep getting a platform here? Ignore him and let him fade out. Leave house, drive across state lines to get a gun from someone else's trunk to defend a place you're not even at. Nothing sounds odd here. Well, beyond the obvious being that I find it quite ironic that the only thing he's asking for is, for people to hear him out, to keep an open mind. And almost, I don't know if it's smugly or if it's true irony, but we see people refusing to even consider that. Here's where it gets tough. There is not a single piece of truth that is used in the formation of any of these opinions that we see here on white people Twitter. And to prove that, I have an NPR article right here, an NPR article, KPBS NPR, it's public media, laying things out, saying, and this is from 2021. This was well before we see people losing their minds over a kid who was defending himself. If we look in here, we can see that even the NPR article is stoking kind of division here. But at the end of the day, he was found not guilty on all 5 counts. There's a video from that day showing that not only did Kyle live in Kenosha, but that he had every right to be there, that the people who he came into conflict with were in fact threatening his life. And I don't understand how anyone can see the direction that the discourse is going and not feel concerned if they found themselves in the same situation. Enough with Rittenhouse, though. Let's take a look at the other example that I wanted to illustrate today. Elon Musk is an actual traitor. So, of course, this is a post of a tweet calling Elmo a national security risk. The New York Times reports that Elon Musk personally thwarted a Ukrainian military operation he disapproved of. Now, of course, this isn't true either. None of this is true. But of course, that doesn't keep the commenters on white people Twitter stuck in their echo chamber from sharing their opinion on the matter. Can you imagine this moron was actually convicted of a personal war crime? Would be amazing. Billionaires should not exist. Can someone take this asshole's green card away and send his stupid ass back to South Africa? So we're calling for the deportation of someone over news articles that aren't true. And to support my argument that it's not true, I have the outlet who originally released this information backtracking and admitting that it wasn't true. Here we have CNN. Now notice this editor's note. Conveniently, right under the ads, right under the video, right before everything starts. After the story was published, Walter Isaacson clarified his explanation regarding Elon Musk restricting Ukrainian access to Starlink. The story has been updated to reflect that change. It's weird. It doesn't seem like anyone on White People Twitter got the update. If we look at the phrasing of this, we can see how far the media has run with people's inability to read critically. We can read the first line in this article and we can discuss it together, but I am concerned if you can't see how blatantly this is covering up a lie. Elon Musk secretly ordered his engineers not to turn on his company's satellite communications network near the Crimean coast last year to disrupt a Ukrainian sneak attack on the Russian naval fleet. How does not turning something on thwart an attack when there was never an agreement to turn it on? If I come to you and say, hey, if you turned on your solar panels, I could charge my car, and you don't turn on your solar panels, did you thwart my attempt to charge my car? No. I was asking you for a favor, maybe one that you didn't feel comfortable allowing. But in this day and age, we can thwart that to something being spun the other way. Now, I think, it's beyond just these topics here. This just kind of does a good job to illustrate some of the issue that we're seeing. But what it really comes down to is moderation standards. How is it that blatant misinformation or just completely, opinions shared without a factual basis are making the front page of White People Twitter, where we're seeing, these posts getting 5,500 upvotes. We're seeing this post getting 42,000 upvotes for something that is factually untrue. Where does it stop? You could say that these may be controversial figures. You may not agree with everything these figures have done. I don't think that I agree with everything these figures have done. But at this point, should you become a controversial figure, who's to stop an entire community from not just bending the truth, but from completely lying about you? And if you were to do anything about it, you would likely come in conflict with the moderation standards of White People Twitter. We can go and take a look here. There's no bullying or witch hunting allowed. We can't call anyone a profane name or starting flame wars. We are not allowed to disparage people. We reserve the right and the right to bar entry to participants of subreddits known to harass our user base. When did this rule come about? We have people in here calling for the deportation of someone. This is an actual witch hunt. We have calls here to nationalize infrastructure. This is a communist echo chamber, and it's masquerading as the popular opinion. And I think that's what I find most concerning about it. If you're a younger person and you first were to stumble upon Reddit, you might have the mistaken belief that this is representative of how people feel, and this is evidence of what they think, that's not the case. There's nothing of value in this community other than highlighting the problems with the left as a whole. If anyone else has any thoughts on this matter, I'm happy to entertain any further discussion. Thanks for hearing me out, and thanks for considering what I have laid out for you. Have a great rest of your day.